amazing in 1920 or
Yeah.
something like that. The story that I heard, and I don't know how true it is, that our grandfather worked in the bank, and he did very well, and he was going up through the ranks, and I don't know, maybe round about this time, 26, 28, he was doing well, and he took his family on holiday, and they went to Venice, and they stayed in the Lido, which is the poshest hotel in Venice. I mean, it is, and at that time, you know, members of the British aristocracy would be there. It would be really very, very kind of exclusive. And he was there, and supposedly there was some problem back at home to do with the bank. And they contacted him, I think it was by telegram, saying, please come back, there's a problem, and we need you to come and sort it. And he, being the clever guy that he was, seized this opportunity and said, okay, I'll come back, but make it worth my while. Why should I come back? And he got a promotion, and he ended up becoming a partner, or? And he ended up becoming a partner in the bank because he said no.
He first said no. No, I'm on vacation. And no, I'm not on vacation, I'm not coming. And then please, please, please come. And that gave him the job and the partnership in the bank.
How come after the war some of the people went to the US, some stayed in Europe?
So this is what happened. During the war, Amu and Apu sent all their children out. They were able to. One of the things they did, which I thought Amu, she was a very clever lady, so they weren't together anymore. So for everybody's birthday, like if Gunter had a birthday, all the children, wherever they were, got a birthday cake. So they could celebrate the birthday long distance. But Uncle Vernon went to Cambridge, Emmanuel College in Cambridge. He was Gunter and Ernst went to Repton. They were sent to Repton to get them out of Germany. In England. They had to, I still have the correspondence from Amu trying to get them in there that they could speak enough English. And by the way, and there's so many stories, but that's why they went. Lisbeth came here with Uncle George. He was a Zionist, and they already were here for many years in the 30s.
Yeah.
And in fact, they met, well, and then my mother was the last one home. And when Switzerland insisted on having a J on the passport, you know, that came from Switzerland to the German government, because too many Jews were coming to Switzerland, they were anti-Semitic. So the bank got a telegram from whoever saying, and they had just been issued new passports without the J. So Apu came home for lunch, Mom was there, Amu was there. Amu told me this story. And then Mom told me the same story. And there was big discussion what to do. Do we go now? Do we wait? Amu and Apu didn't want to leave because they had responsibilities. They had relatives. They had responsibilities, the bank. And Mom said, we're leaving. So then Amu said, well, what do we take? So Mom said, the only thing important is film. Movies, pictures, the home movie and any pictures we have of the family. That's it. Not everything else we can replace. My mother was about 19 maybe at the time, but she was a solid, sensible person. Amu, the whole life was being destroyed in front of her eyes, right? Mom was there on vacation, was called to the Gestapo. Anyway. Bottom line is, they had to move like this. So they went to Holland. Mom and Amu went on a train like they were going on a shopping trip to Holland. Hübner took them to the train station. Apu went to a different border, so they wouldn't be all in the same border going together. So they made an agreement to meet at your grandfather's brother was living in Holland, in Amsterdam. They were to meet there at their house, and your great-grandmother on the Gutmann side. And before they got to the border, Amu and Mom remembered they never signed their passports. So Hübner went to the side, they signed the passports, and they went through. They got over the border, and Mom said to Amu, call Apu and tell him we made it. And Amu said, who knows when our last, whatever, money, I'm not wasting money on a phone call. Mom said that was the first and only time she ever heard Apu scream at his wife. He was furious that she didn't call him. He thought, who knew what happened to her? But they made it out. So then they were all in Holland, and he was liquidating the bank in Essen. He was in charge of liquidating that bank. And the Nazi people who were taking over the bank and the government, sort of like the commerce secretary or something from Germany, would come. They didn't want to touch the bank because it was an international bank. They had an office in London, they had an office in Holland, they had an office in the United States, and in Essen. So one day this Mr. whoever Nazi came to talk to Apu, and he said to him, and Amu told me this, I remember I had chills, he said, Mr. Harff, I hear you're taking a long vacation. I said to Amu, what did it mean? She said, it meant get out of Holland, we're coming in. So Apu at that time was trying to get into, however, to get out. They tried South America. We have letters where they wrote to people trying to get out of Holland. And when that happened, they had just gotten tickets and a visa to go on the Simon Bolivar, which was a ship, to South America. I can't remember, I've got it written down, some country in South America. So Apu said, we're going to South America. At the same time, they got passports and an agreement to go on a children's transport that was arranged by a woman to take orphan children to Israel, to Palestine, what was then Palestine. And so many families could go with them. So they had that, and they had the Simon Bolivar. So Apu said, I gave my word to the Simon Bolivar, someone else should go on the other ship, on the train. They had to take a train to Paris and then to... And my mother said, no, I am not going to South America. Lisbeth lives in Palestine. We have family there. We don't speak Spanish. We know no one in South America. I'm not going to South America. You may be going to South America. I am going to Lisbon. So she argued with them, and she got her ground. So they came by ship, the train and ship. The Simon Bolivar went under.